Initially, I thought that when the Social Security Code itself is the next sections, why this EPF Act was added in between. I thought it is not required, whether it is required. Anyhow, they have added. So I have to tell, but instead of Salient features, the Act which is some 72 years back, let us examine a few things critically, according to my experience, which will be, I think, definitely useful for you. Any enactment, basically it should be read in a legal language, not in English. That is creating more confusions and complications while implementing the enactments. In any law, definitely we should understand the intent of the law. First, if we understand the intent of the law, then we can understand the meaning of the law and meaning of the word, what they have used. In enactment, even a full stop and comma will speak. That we need to understand. If we understand that, definitely we can understand properly the intent of the law. Actually, labor is in concurrent list. I mean, state government also make an enactments and central government make also an enactment. So, there are 100 labor laws in the country and around 44 central labor laws in the country. Now they are trying to make a unification of laws. ఇందాక నిరంజనరావు సార్ చెప్తుంటే ఒకటి జూనియర్ ఎన్టీఆర్ డైలాగ్ ఒకటి ఉంటుంది సినిమాలో. ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ఐ డోంట్ నో, బట్ దట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద డైలాగ్ ఈజ్ సుట్టు బుట్టు వేసుకున్నాను అనుకుంటున్నామేమో, లోపల ఒరిజినల్ అలాగే ఉంది. ది కోడ్స్ ఆర్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ లైక్ దట్. As it is not actually code, it is a compilation of various laws into one code. Actually, what is the difference between code and an act? This is a bill which has passed through various steps required for it and which has become law, like EPF Act, Payment of Gratuity Act. Whereas code is a systematic and comprehensive compilation of laws, rules or regulations that are consolidated and classified according to the subject matter. Now coming to the labor subject. Now employment definition itself is changed. Now employment became a contract. This Ola driver don't know who is his employer. Swiggy delivery boy don't know who is his employer. And the person whom we are seeing regularly at home, earlier we used to think that he is having no work, but in fact he is working from home. So the entire relations and the structure and the contracts, everything is changed. Then for the reason there is a need to change the enactments also. Actually, in EPF Act, there are 22 sections and 4 schedules. This broadly, if we divide it, it will become as applicability, definitions, administration, contributions, schemes, compliance and recovery, penal provisions, exclusions, exemptions, and miscellaneous. In this, we will discuss what regularly we are, debating the issues in EPF and MP Act. This is schedules. The schedules contains Schedule 1 notified industries, Schedule 2 EPF scheme, Schedule 3 employees pension scheme, Schedule 4 employees deposit linked insurance scheme. Now, initially when the act enacted, it was only PF scheme. Later pension scheme introduced, later EDLI scheme. Now there is a debate that after introducing pension scheme, whether EPF scheme is still relevant, because that original spirit was to have a fund at their retirement age. Now we are providing pension, whether this still EPF scheme is required. In fact, For releasing advances, now we became more liberal. Without any asking anything, we are releasing it. Initially, I told any enactment should read properly. This is the section 1A. To every establishment which is a factory engaged in any industry specified in Schedule 1, in which 20 or more persons. Second is to any other establishment employing or more persons or class of such establishment which central government may notify. Normally 13A means it is a factory, 13B means it is an establishment. To any other establishment. Luckily, establishment was nowhere defined in our Act. But they have used establishment word there. But in the code now they have defined what is establishment. Second thing is, the schedule and notification, everyone will never think of it. Because the only understanding is, if 20 is there, it is coverable under EPF Act. Likewise, I think Salient person also there. Many big companies are making the mistakes and they are coming into ambit of our Act just because of they are engaging more than 20 people. This is the what, actually it is a little bit visible. The software companies were brought into the fold in 27 July 2006, whereas Microsoft covered in our Act from 1998. Salient covered somewhere in 2005. But Tata covered exactly from 27 July 2006. So why? Because we didn't read it properly. 20 means, Microsoft means definitely they might have taken some topmost advisory services advice and immediately they took our code number, they have paid administrative charges and contributions. Maybe some hidden agenda may be there that we don't know. This is, Sundaro sir also knows it. TV9 has covered from 2003. It is an electronic media. But actually electronic media comes under notification with effect from 8th December 2007. So there is a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding about the EPFMP Act. Now coming to the important definition, most confused, most debatable, most misinterpreted, most misrepresented, most abused also, I can say. Why I am saying abused, I will show in the next slide. This needs to be read properly. Basic wages means all emoluments which are earned by an employee while on duty. I marked it there, but does not include. Previous session, Niranjan also told it. Here, one more thing I marked in the red. Any other similar allowance. Actually, it needs to be understood in an exclusion clause. I mean, in A to Z, X, Y, Z is removed. What remains? A to W will remain in the definition. But everyone will come and ask me whether B falls in that, whether A falls in that, whether Y falls in it. It is not that. The definition is very clear. It does not include cash value of any food concession, any DA, any presents made by the employer. So, special allowance, other allowance, whatever you name it, unless it falls under these three definitions, it cannot go out of the basic wages definition. And recently one person came to our office, is arguing that I am not giving any wages, I am giving only salaries. How you can cover us? Last week only. The question is, that's why I am saying that it needs to be read properly. Basic wages according to our Act, it is not wages according to your own terms. According to our Act, basic wages means all emoluments. All emoluments include salary also. Later we explained him that in that way. But those who are interested can understand there is a difference between previous slide of Niranjan sir and this slide. In wages definition, in all emoluments, that all emoluments is now changed. it is saying all remuneration. Why it is changed means then I checked the exact meaning of that. సార్ ఇంకోటి కూడా ఒకటి ఇంపార్టెంట్ టాపిక్ మర్చిపోయారు అందులో, అంటే విచ్ ఈజ్ మోస్ట్ కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ టు మీ ఆల్సో ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్. చెప్తాను సార్. ఎమల్యుమెంట్స్ మీన్స్ నెక్స్ట్ డిఫినేషన్లో వస్తుంది సార్. ఎమల్యుమెంట్స్ మీన్స్ ద కంపన్సేషన్ విచ్ ఈస్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద లెంత్ అండ్ టైమ్ ఆఫ్ యాక్టివిటీ ఆఫ్ ద ఫర్ ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ holding office or services in the legal context is referred to as the emolument. Now it is changed as a remuneration. Remuneration means any money or its equivalent given or passed to any person for services rendered by him. That's what employment definition is changing. Now instead of labor this thing, we are in the era of ease of doing business. No inspections, faceless inquiries. You don't know who is your assessing officer. In income tax is already they are doing it, we are also doing it. I use the word abusing of the basic wages definition. This is last 2 years back figure. We are having around 6 crores 12 lakhs subscribers in EPS, whereas 60% of the people are paying only the 700 to 800 bracket. That means their salary is less than 2,000, less than 10,000. You see the contribution in between 100, 58 lakhs. 100 rupees contribution means how much his salary will be? 8.33 is 100. So they are paying 1,000 as a basic wages. You got the point, madam? అబ్యూస్ అని ఎందుకన్నా అంటే తెలుగులో ఎక్కువ మంచిగా చెప్పగలుగుతాను నేను. ఆ బేసిక్ వేజెస్ డెఫినేషన్ అనే దాన్ని ఇప్పుడు 50 స్ప్లిట్ చేసి నీకు 9,000 శాలరీ ఉన్నా కానీ 2,000 బేసిక్ వేజెస్, మిగతా 7,000 నాది హెచ్ఆర్ఏ అదర్ రెలవెన్స్ అని పెట్టి 2,000 మీదనే ఈపీఎస్ కడుతున్నారు. వేరాజ్ మా ప్రకారం ఎక్సెప్ట్ హెచ్ఆర్ఏ ఆ 3 తప్ప మిగతా అన్ని వేజెస్ కావాలి. 2,000 చూపించడం వల్ల 1,000 కూడా చూపించడం వల్ల ఈ 100 రూపాయలు కాంట్రిబ్యూట్ చేసే వాళ్ళు 58 లక్షల మంది ఉన్నారు వాళ్ళ దగ్గర. That way, definitely at the end of their service, they will receive only that minimum 1,000 rupees pension, not more than that. Employer means, of course, this is I don't think so it makes much discussion on this. This is also okay. Contributions, this is 12%, but there is a difference in between basic wages and contributions. The DA was removed in the basic wages, but while coming to contributions, they were added in the basic wages. So, for excluded employee also in the scheme definition, the above 15,000 class, what we have to see is, if his basic wages and DA exceeds 15,000, then only will fall under the excluded category. In the DA, they have included cash value of food concession. Any industrial establishments are there here. Any industrial, I mean those who are running the canteens. They can understand better the cash value of food concession. In fact, I don't want to name, we assessed a huge amounts and very big companies on this cash value of food concession. What happens is, you give contract to a canteen, and the contractor fellow will charge you 60 rupees per meal, and you deduct only 20 rupees from the salary of the member. The 40 rupees will be borne by the company. That is nothing but cash value of food concession, and it forms as a DA, and it is liable for PF. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒక కాంట్రాక్టర్ దగ్గర కాంట్రాక్టర్ క్యాంటీన్ కాంట్రాక్ట్ ఇస్తారు ఫ్యాక్టరీ వాళ్ళు. దట్ ఫెలో విల్ ఛార్జ్ 40 rupees per meal, but you collect only 20 rupees from the worker and 20 rupees will be borne by the company. That 20 rupees is nothing but a DA.
So on DA also it will be calculated as PF?
Yes, DA naturally.
This 20 rupees is also calculated?
This 20 rupees also falls under purview of DA. That's what I wanted to say. This is one more important thing, most powerful section in our Act, Section 7A, where we can assess the amounts, determine the amounts due from an establishment, or if any establishment disputes the applicability, it needs to be decided under Section 7A. The interesting thing is, no one knows what is the Section 7A. Here it is there. The officer conducting the inquiry under subsection is, the powers are vested in the court under the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. The issue is, most of the employers not even read that letter what we have sent. They will send some, HR very junior most person to our office with that letter. And he comes. How many of us will attend a court when a court issues us notice, whether we will directly attend or we will go to advocate, or if we so learn, we will go directly to the court. Is it not? But we will never send some innocent person who doesn't have any knowledge about that particular issue. But here what happens is, they don't even read that letter what we have sent. A letter itself, in the top it will be there, summons to appear before the authority. But most of the people not even read that summons word. We have received a letter from PF office and they will come. And they will neglect the further adjournments. And it will go for 2 years and they will never respond. We will communicate. Afterwards we will assess the very huge amounts. Then they will go to Niranjan Rao sir. No, even any senior person can attend it, but they will be very busy. They will send some very junior ones. He don't know anything about EPF and MP Act. Next tribunal, this is okay. This is mode of recovery of monies dues from the employers. That everyone knows that we are having very powerful weapon. That is Section 8F. I can take money from your bank without your consent, and without your consent of your bank manager also. Because he cannot resist us to take the money. అది చాలా మందికి తెలియదు. అన్లెస్ ఎప్పుడు మేము బ్యాంక్ మేనేజర్కి లెటర్ పంపించి ఆఫ్టర్ కలెక్టింగ్ ద మనీ ఓన్లీ దే విల్ కమ్ టు నో దట్ వీఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ దట్ పవర్స్. ఫ్రీజ్ అంటే వెన్ దర్ ఇస్ నో బ్యాలెన్స్ వీ కెన్ ఫ్రీజ్. It will be hundreds of cases. Without, in one case what happened is this secretariat branch, that I think SBI or SBI some branch, he refused or rejected to obey our orders. So one fine morning we went on a squad and we attached his chest. He cannot remove any cash from that chest and he cannot operate the bank. And we informed Reserve Bank also that we are attaching his chest because he is not obliging the order. Later I issued.
శ్రీనివాస్ గారు ఒక్క పర్మిషన్ శ్రీనివాస్ గారు ఈ మధ్య వీరు 33,000 కోట్ల ఆ సున్నాలు ఎన్ని పెట్టాలో తెలియనంత ఒక అటాచ్మెంట్ ఇచ్చి ఆర్డర్ ఇచ్చారు.
కరెక్ట్.
అది క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తే కూడా ఎన్ని వేల కోట్లు అవుతుందో తెలియదు ఏపీఎస్ఆర్టీసీకి.
Yes, yes.
APSRTC and TSRTC is not yet divided. PF trust is maintained by APSRTC. ఇప్పటికి కూడా.
Yes.
So trust money ఏమో తెలంగాణలో. So they have given notices for both the state governments, both of them not pay. Therefore they have attached some 33,000 crores. 33,000 crores are attached by APFC. Highest amount I think in India.
Yes.
Fortunately, I am doing that case.
In fact, we are having more powers than that attachment. We can arrest and send him to the prison. No, normally arrest means, for our mind, it comes only police. We think that only police can arrest the people. No other person can arrest the people. In fact, in my personal experience, such incident was happened. Occupied place lo, they put some manager, junior manager name. We brought him, we told that you have to pay this 2.5 lakhs. Otherwise, we will be sent to the prison. But he is not at all believing it. He is confident that I cannot send him to the prison. So later, our Assistant Commissioner issued the order. We spoke to Chellapalli jail, and he has issued the order. I took him in my jeep. Then also, he is not believing. Still he is thinking that I am bluffing him. How you can arrest me? Then after entering the Chellapalli jail gate, then he realized that yes, I am going inside. Then he removed his gold chain and ring to me only. Sir, you keep it with me, I will collect afterwards. So within next day, his owner has paid that amount, and he came back, and he took the chain and ring also. And one more, the recovery, it will come in next section. Protection against attachment. This is in favor of the member. What means any court cannot attach the balance lying with us. Any decree cannot be passed, let it be marital cases or any insolvent cases, whatever there. They cannot. I can send attachment to a bank, but bank cannot send any attachment to us. Since it is a future fund of the member, they have given this protection. In this class also I am having an interesting experience. One managing director, their company is under default. But I cannot attach his PF since it is lying with me. After some days he filed a claim to withdraw the amount, Form 19. Then immediately, which bank we have seen? First we send ITF order to that bank. Then we settled his account, we sent money to that bank. Once he reaches the money, it won't have the sanctity of the PF. It is in savings banks. Then we can attach it. That way we collected the money. PIT of payment of contribution over other debts means when a company goes in insolvent, then the first PIT will be, first charge will be on PF contributions. Employer not to reduce wages. This is also an important clause. While paying contributions, if you are paying on 10,000 PF contribution, next month you cannot reduce it to 8,000. It is violation of the Act. But there are a lot of queries will be coming on this, and big companies, those who are paying on totally on higher wages. Suppose that person is paying on 30,000 on PF. He wants to reduce it to 15,000 or 20,000, whatever the case may be. Whether I can restrict to the ceiling amount? Yes, they can restrict up to 15,000. Because our domain is only up to 15,000 only, I can charge you. After that, it is you and your employee. Understand? No, it can be changed at any. Above 15,000, it is your playground. If below 15,000, if you do anything, we will come into the picture. This is 13 inspectors. Just now, Niranjan Rosal, inspectors come facilitators. Now that is going to be changed. Even our inspectors also having very much power, but normally people don't know. All these powers are in this. They can search and seizure, and they can collect the things from your premises. They can conduct a Panchanama and Mazar, and they can collect it. No one knows it, and even they will challenge us when in the field. How you can take my book? How you can take my computer? How you can open my computer? A lot of fights will be there in the field because unawareness. But once we conduct a raid, I think Niranjan Rao sir may be knowing, some big companies, we bought all the systems in a trucks. Our duly recording the Panchanama and everything. These are the things what we bought. No, madam. Inspection, it is a notice. It is a right question. Now it is that on a notice only, I have to come to you. That is okay. But certainly, if I already having a substantiate evidence that there is a evasion, I can take permission from my authorities and I can come without informing you. Because every time I inform means there is a chance of evasion. This is only that 14B means penal provisions. This is also going to be changed. Section 16 is act not to apply such an establishment means what it is government establishment specially. Government establishment does not fall under the purview of the PF Act. But when the Act is made in 1952, there is no contract employment in government. There was only regular employments. But after that, government is also engaging the contractors. Now there are so many honorary workers like Anganwadi workers or some Vidya volunteers. In fact, literally speaking, strictly speaking to the section, we have to cover that institution. But they are disputing it. This section says those who are not eligible for pension fund, they must be covered even though they are working in the government. But they says it is totally government itself is excluded from this thing. Liability in case of transfer of an establishment. If a establishment, any mode, they are very clearly telling us, where an employer in relation to an establishment transfers that establishment in whole or in part by sale, gift, lease or license or in any other manner whatsoever. That is very dangerous word. Okay. So, okay, if one establishment sells to other establishment, if the establishment is already defaulted, there is a dues against that establishment, that liability will pass to the new establishment. He cannot say that I have just purchased it, I don't have any knowledge of that previous dues. అయితే ఇందులో కొద్దిగా ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ పాయింట్ కూడా కొద్దిగా ఉంటుంది. ఏంటంటే బిజినెస్ పర్చేజ్ చేస్తే కొందరు ఏం చేస్తారంటే what few people will do is they will change the agreement itself. They have not purchased the business at all. They purchased the land, they purchased the equipment. They will change the entire name. And such people, they are disputing that I have not purchased the business. I have not purchased the establishment. Just I purchased the property of that establishment. This is these things. Protection of action taken in good faith means while performing our duty, if I have taken any decision, it will be in good faith only. Delegation of powers, our internal. I think almost I have covered, because of the paucity of time, I have covered almost important sections. I think. I just wait.
One question. See, I just purchased the land. I have not taken the business in that.
Yes.
But when you are taking the land, you also should know if there is a problem on the land.
If it is already attached by me, then you have to take care of the any encumbrances are there or not.
You have to take MOC, sir.
Yes.
MOC from the department.
Yes, you can take.
ఇప్పుడు జగన్ వాలంటీర్స్ కూడా వస్తాయా సార్ ఇలాంటి స్కీమ్స్?
లేదు అలాగే రాదు. అది స్టిల్ డిస్ప్యూట్. That's what I am telling. When EPF Act implemented is, our literacy rate was 18%. Today it is almost 80%. Today the demat accounts are 16 crores. 1952 our domestic saving rate is at 9%. Now it is 35%. So changing dynamics should change the enactments. In fact, that is not happening still. The employee-employer relation is now totally changed. There is no invisible employees are there. I am having one more presentation just for information, but it is only 5 slides. Just you can read it. Since everyone is asking me on the phone that what is the schemes, in fact I also don't know. It is exactly extract of the budget speech. So together we have to understand it. This is in government they have announced 3 schemes. One is, it is like our Atmanirbhar Bharat Yojana scheme only. This is first A scheme. What they are saying, 1 month wage subsidy, maximum is rupees 15,000, applicable to all sectors. First timers have a learning curve before the become full productive subsidy to assist employees and employers in hiring of first timers. Applicable to all persons newly entering the workforce, EPFO wage salary less than 1 lakh. That is the confusion. Actually, above 15,000 they need not be enrolled to EPF. But either they are saying that up to 1 lakh, but they should be enrolled to EPF. The subsidy will be paid to the employee in 3 installments. Employee must undergo compulsory online financial literacy course. Why this is put? Why this condition? Yes, you need to understand the financial investments, where he can invest. Next B scheme is B and C is mixed. It is like this. All employers which are corporate entities and those non-corporate entities with 3-year back track record of EPF contributions. Means they must be registered prior to this scheme 3 years with EPFO. Employer must hire at least the following number of previously non-EPFO enrolled. And it must be new employment. New employment 50 or 25% of the baseline strength. Incentive will be paid for 4 years, partly to the employee and partly to the employer. It is nothing but our Atmanirbhar Yojana, 24% they are giving. But gradually they are reducing. In 3rd year they will give only 16% and 4th year they will give only 8%. Employer must maintain threshold the level of enhanced employment throughout, following which the subsidy benefit will stop. And if once he increase the strength, if he increase the strength to 100 to 120, to get the subsidy, he should continue the 120 figure. Once it comes down, subsidy will stop. Yes. Employee must be directly working in the entity paying salary. Insourced employee. Employee must wage salary up to 1 lakh per month. For those wages salary greater than 25,000 month, incentive will be calculated up to 25,000 month. And there is a proposal of increasing our wage ceiling also. Our wage ceiling also, I have to tell one thing, the dynamics changing means, after the concept of CTC, if I enhance the wage ceiling, what is the impact on the employee? Can anyone tell me? In the CTC concept, I am changing 15,000 to 25,000. But in the CTC, you are entering agreement that this is my employer share. Net will come down, but there is no liability on the employer. That is the change in dynamics. Yes. Even officially we have given a clarification that employer share should not be deducted from the employee according to the provisions. If he deducted, it is an offence. Employee share deducted but not paid to the EPF, it is offence under Criminal Code IPC 406. But when it is under CTC, the employer is showing that employer share is deducted from his salary, it is allowed. Yes, that's what, madam, I am saying. The spirit and intent of the enactments are changing. That structure we are not changing. Better you put universalization of pension scheme. What we are demanding is up to 15,000, whatever wage ceiling, everyone should be enrolled to pension scheme. Let him draw this thing. Actually this EPF scheme is being utilized by the very learned people, learned persons, then the persons from whom we actually intended to give the benefit. Last week in our Pune office, we settled a claim of 16 crore rupees PF. You imagine what is the person's status, and the scheme is intended to give benefit to below 15,000 people. 16 crores means 8.25%. Yearly interest income will be 80 lakhs around, only interest income. That I will clarify. After this I will clarify it. This is next scheme C. Applicable to an employer who increases employment above baseline, 50 or 5 employees, for employee salary does not exceed 1 lakh per month. Here also they are taking 1 lakh. I don't know why they are picking that 1 lakh. New employees under this part need not be new entrants to the EPFO. Here what they are saying is, a person already employed in PF he left the job, again now he is joining. In such case also, you can take the benefit. For 2 years, government will reimburse EPO employer contribution up to 3,000 per month to the employer and additional employee side. Okay, this you can read it, the presentation will be shared to you. You are saying that interest, no? Interest we will credit, and no one should worry about the date of the crediting the interest. Because it is very clear that even if I credit your interest in December also, we will add that interest to OB of that particular year. From there only it will run. And the delay in interest does not cause any loss to the member. And 8.25 running will give compounding. It will come around 9.55 interest.